This man has never knocked nobody out cold. He's a bully. He's slow. He has no skill, no footwork. He's awkward. And I have been giving him a name. Because he fights. When he's fighting, if you ever watch him in the ring, he drags like that after his opponent. and how's the mummy gonna catch me?
And all I had to do was to go out and beat for a man who had no skill, no class. Seriously, the man had no skill. I don't know why the world is so foolish to believe in him and think that I wasn't going to win.
Well, when you say you're ready to go to war right now...
I see that guy on the street, I beat him before the fight.
You'd actually take him on before the fight?
Beat him like I'm his daddy.
Basketball players out there, football players, they want to beat so bad, they want to get everybody. I'll go to Mars, I don't care.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
Okay, here we go, guys. Hey, welcome to another episode of Lions Out Sports Debates. And guys, today... Well, we'll see if anyone shows up here. So we got that. Everyone has the links. So we are doing, again, Herm versus myself, right? And it's like we're doing 2001 or 2002 Lakers versus the 95 Magic. Which team was greater? Okay. Obviously, this is still continuing our series of which teams was greater versus, again, those who didn't win championships on any given year. So that's the actual series here. So that being said, who you got? Obviously, we're still waiting for everyone to pull up here. And give me a second. I see casual. So 2000 keeps an interesting one because of the controversy in Game 6 of that West Conference series, but they did miss half the free throws in Game 7, so they still. That's an excellent point. Casual, and that may or may not come up in this debate. But excellent point. Still one of the best series I've ever seen. That was still when I was back in a diehard Lakers fan, right? So that being said, we're waiting for a couple of our judges here to pull up. As soon as Herm pulls up, we will be all set here. And let's see here, guys. And then we'll see everyone else get in here. And it's like, how do you think it's going to go based upon the debate style? You know how we both bring it. How we both break it down. Herm's a slippery rascal, right? He brings great. He is very unorthodox when it comes to like his debate style, which I really respect. So we're gonna see how he does it and how he decides to break it down, and who else joins up, and it's all about convincing the judges, right? At the end of the day, I'm going, of course, for. I think that the 95 Magic were greater, and we're going to be proving that today. Okay, so we will eventually take a look at that here, okay, and let's see if anyone brings it up here. Okay, and 1 second here. I love I have to do this after the show starts. Is always fun. Yeah, watch it all come together here. Okay. And if Herm goes this time, then we're gonna have words. That's all I can say. So we'll see. But yeah, guys, in the future we're gonna try and get a little bit more of a draw as far as the different people who are debating. Right. I'm gonna try and get just a more eclectic group out here, so it's not just the same people debating all the time. Although it's fun, yeah. But we're gonna try to expand that a little bit there as well. Okay, and hopefully do some tournaments, things like that, different varieties of topics, things like that, especially here. And so, Ismail, I threw you the link. But yeah, you can chill there for sure. As we're just waiting for the other participants to arrive, and then we'd be good to go here. Let's see here. Yeah, but definitely interesting one. And yeah, Ismail, if you want to come on stage, man, and tell us like what your prediction or like what you thoughts about this particular debate would be, like thoughts beforehand, feel free, man, and tell us like what you'd be looking for as one of the judges today, and yeah, what you think this would ultimately lead to. Who has the edge? Maybe, I don't know. It's going to be a tough one, I think. But yeah, we were just on GJK podcast mixing it up there, talking about just more unmitigated Jordan slander. So, nothing new there. Not really surprised. But we shall see. Hey, there he is. How's it going, man?
What's up, Travis?
What's up? So, yeah. So this is one of the series, man. Of this is like 3 or 4 deep now. We've done which team that didn't win a chip in a year is greater, right? So just off the top, these two teams, 95 Magic, 2002 Kings. Which ones? What do you think about that matchup? Just like off the rib.
I don't know too much other than I know Shaq was on the team. So, yeah, he was pretty athletic. And it was Hardaway was on the team, right? Who else was there? It was the guy who played on the Chicago Bulls, right? That was on the Magic.
Yeah, you had Ho Grant, you had Penny, you had
Who are you going for? You're not going for the Kings, are you?
No, I'm going for the 95 Magic.
Oh yeah. I would think the Magics are better if I think about it, because I was thinking like now I think about because Herm is the type of one to get he likes to challenge himself in debates, and so it's like I think it's clear that the Magics would be the better team than the Sacramento Kings, but I guess we'll have to see.
We'll see if Herm doesn't duck, then we shall see.
Yeah. So you are going for the Magic. Now I think about like you talking about Shaq, Hardaway. Fucking. Would you just name his name again?
You had Horace Grant. You had Scott. You had some ballers on that team. Right. And I always have been a huge fan of. Our huge fan of 02 Kings. They were a great team, super chemistry, lots of depth. Obviously, they didn't have like the star power, but I mean, they were a great team in their own right and very competitive. And so I think Herm's going to come with I think he's going to focus on how deep they were and like, how they did that with the accomplish all that without like, a name brand superstar. Obviously, no slander against Chris Webber, but we'll see. I've learned never to underestimate Herm because he is a tough one in the debate. So
what time is it supposed to start?
Literally like 10 minutes ago. But they all have the times, and we'll see if Herm ducks me. We'll see. I Also,
I mean,
Keith, we're supposed to help you out with the actual
did he
debate
message
or the
you back
judging
or
here.
anything?
So right now, Herm has not messaged me back, and I hit him up at 10 and give him the link. And so, let's see. Yeah, so, well, what I will say, guys, if he doesn't hit me back in a few more minutes, whatever, maybe we'll just have a discussion, we'll call it, because, we need to get a little more consistency with our guests here. So, but, yeah, man, you been keeping up with the league at all?
A little bit. I did. I don't know. This probably feels. I did watch some of the All-Star game. I thought that was really good. Like it was ultra competitive. I think it was one of the most competitive All-Star events they had. And they played like they were at a pickup game, like a pickup game where all the pros come in. Like they played because the All-Star game has been known like they don't really play good at and they play better at pickup games than they do better in All-Star games. But it was very competitive. I think they can probably change the formula because some people said the old heads got tired or something. They got gassed out. But I'm just saying like that. I did caught up on that. Everything else, I know Jason Tatum is back. I didn't watch that. The Lakers are trash still.
Yeah.
LeBron broke the field goal record. I already knew he was going to do that.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
He was another record.
And Luka probably still not going to be an MVP, which is crazy. Like, now you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way. I mean, Lakers would have to like rally and be like the third or second seed for him to get MVP.
Yeah. Like, it's starting to look like people are just probably thinking he's starting to look like just a stat pattern now or something because it's like, you
think that would like hurt LeBron's legacy if like he played next to an MVP guy again?
You think it would hurt LeBron's legacy if Luka was the MVP? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Why would that? I mean, that just doesn't make any. I don't see why. Why would that hurt his legacy? Somebody else that just was better than him on the team. Like, are we supposed to be number one? Is he supposed to be a number one option forever? Like, we don't know what to expect of LeBron's like tenure in his career. We would never guess if somebody was going to be better than him in year 23. So I don't.
He's better than MVP.
Yeah, or the MVP. I would ask, how would that hurt his legacy? I don't really see it. Like, I don't really.
To me, well, here's the thing. To me, it wouldn't. But like, you see that argument gets applied to a lot of other players, right? When they're trying to just kind of disparage them, like, oh, Michael Jordan played with a guy who was top 10 in the 90s, right? Or Kareem played with MVP Magic Johnson. Like if they're trying to disparage him. I don't actually use that to rank people. And so, if he actually did win MVP, like I wouldn't like knock LeBron for that, but I'm just saying that kind of narrative does exist.
I think that stuff is super weird that people put this like selective biases about certain players and their legacy. The legacy is within the documentation to me of what the players have done.
Oh yeah.
Without
you should have seen that GJK podcast.
They did? Where they broadcast?
Oh, there's Herm. Yeah. What up, Herm?
Salute.
Salute, man. You missed it. We were going to war over on GJK, man, defending Mike's good name, just like old times. I had to dip out when Wombo was saying that Mike would average like 10, 4, and 1 in today's game. I was like, dude, you can't huff enough fucking glue to have that opinion.
He said only 10 points?
They were literally out there saying Jordan would average 10, 4, and then 1 in today's league because he can't shoot or dribble. Those were their takes. And then we were watching footage of them doing both. It was just the drugs being passed around were like hyper fucking effective. Insane.
That's how desperate they are to try to boost up LeBron. Like you gotta do all this to push your agenda.
Dude, it's almost like a disease at this point. Like it's, I get having an opinion, but when you can't talk about anything except for another, like one player, and then you just lie about him. It's like continuously. It's just.
What's up, man?
King Rose there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was given advice to stay away from that channel, but I was kind of bored. I pulled up. It was another class. Yeah, bro. But like I said, you get some clips out of it. I gotta,
Yeah, you get some clips and like you can clip their bad takes. But anyway, so Ishmael will help judge here. And if we have a tiebreaker, then we'll just go to the chat. But, bro, what are your initial thoughts about this matchup, the 2002 Kings, 95 Magic, just kind of like an overview? And how do you think that we, very briefly, how we would each approach?
Okay, so what is it? Who had the bigger disappointment, or who just think was the best thing?
No, it's basically just out of these teams, both of these teams didn't win the chip, right? Then it's like which was greater when compared to each other?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to give away my thought on who I think was better, but I think both of them went up against some great. Obviously they went up against three-peat level competition. I think Bulls won their first year of the three-peat, right? And the Lakers won their last year of the three-peat. So. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a hell of a matchup because you got the hell of a 1-2 punch and some good shooters around. So, I mean, I'm ready to listen to the arguments.
Absolutely, boys. And Ishmael, would you be willing to? I mean, guys, don't actually have a. Would you be willing to do a count or a round counter stop clock?
Sure. Let me see. So when do I say, like, do I tell you how many seconds you have left or something like that?
No. Just butt in whenever we're done or whenever it's 3 minutes. Just be like, okay, that's time, and we'll stop.
Okay. So you, so I'm doing the clock on my side, right?
Yeah, and it's let us know. To be like, hey, cool. I'll start timing you whenever you talk, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna. So with that being said, I will.
And it's three rounds, right? 3 rounds, 3 minutes per round.
Exactly, 3 rounds there, 3 minutes per round, and then we'll put. Give me a second here. We'll put everyone up. There we go. Okay, and you guys in the back here, but yeah, Ishmael, whenever you want, or I'm sorry. Herm, would you like to go first or defer today, sir?
I guess I'll defer today because I went first last time. So
that's what I thought. Yeah, no problem at all. We'll go ahead and do that. That being said, Ishmael, whenever you want to count it down for my first round, or just tell me whenever, and I will go whenever you want.
Okay. As soon as you start talking, I'll time you.
Okay, guys. So, as you said, we're doing the 91 or the 95 Magic versus the 2002 Sacramento Kings. 2 fantastic teams, and my goal here isn't to disparage either one of them, or especially not the Kings. They're one of my favorite teams of the whole time. I've talked about them multiple times, but when we're, again, checking off the boxes objectively, again, as to which team was greater, the 95 Magic come out on top and by a wide margin. They were greater in star power, objectively speaking. You talk about Shaq, and we're going to go into all of this. Shaq, Penny, they had fantastic shooters all around. Dennis Scott, they had Horace Grant, the championship level experience from before. All of this was mixed into their overall roster, which I will talk about. They faced and beat greater level of competition. Obviously, none of these, neither of the teams won the ring. Okay, but the Kings did, or the Magic did go farther against better competition, and again, they also impacted the evolution of the game, kind of in better inside out. Again, a little emphasis on the perimeter as well. But they were talking about how much of a better roster they had. Shaq, the ultimate trump card. He was already arguably a top 3 player in the league, if not the best. 29 points and 11 rebounds. He led the league in field goal percentage. He was shooting 60% in the field goal in the playoffs. Required constant double teams. Collapsed every defense. And against the Kings, Shaq would have been unguardable, but we're not comparing them, I guess, head to head as who'd win because he was greater. Penny Hardaway, first team All NBA. He was a guy who would average 27 and 4, right? He was a 6'7" with elite defense, and he was super quick. Okay, better than anyone the Kings could field. Horace Grant brought that championship pedigree from the three-peat with the Bulls just a couple of years before that. Okay, and he brought that leadership, that mid-range spacing. Again, people looked to him to lead the locker room. He did that. The Kings had no one like that at all. Again, to lead them, especially with that multiple championship experience, they did. Dennis Scott, Nick Anderson, 2 of the best three-point shooters in the league. Again, they also provide spacing, defense, clutch scoring, and everything. Brian Shaw was there as well, another underrated shooter who would go on to leave his mark with the Lakers later on there as well. They had a great, fantastic, balanced roster. Again, they had arguably the best player in the league, definitely the best center, who was unstoppable to complement those shooters. They were a fantastic team and arguably better than the Kings in every step of the way. I love the Kings. The Kings could shoot the ball. They could play defense. They were good inside. They were deep. But the Magic were just better. Again, they were better they had higher offensive rank that year. They were better defensively. So across the board, when it's star power, again, better scorers, again, higher rank as far as players all time. Okay, they were better offensively and defensively, again, per their metrics for their individual years and seasons. Okay, they had better depth. They played. Again, we're going to go into who they played a little bit later on.
Time. Okay, Herm. So whenever you start talking, Herm, I'll go ahead and time you as well.
All right. The particular years, for one, the Kings were a 60-win team. They were 61-21. Compared to the Magic, 57-25. Also, the Sacramento Kings had 7 players that was averaging double figures. They was a very deep team as well. They was deeper. They were just were better. Offensively, they was better. Yes, they was a number 1 offensive rating that year, but they was better. In terms of pace, they was a faster team in pace as well at a 95.6 compared to the Magic at 92. The strength rating, a lot of people don't understand the strength rating. The Kings was over the Magic in that for 7.6 for the Kings and the 7.06 for the Orlando Magic. Um, when you look at Forbes, yes, they had the star power with Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal is the best player out of all those guys. But the Kings were very, very deep. Defensively, they was better than the Magic. You see the defensive rating for the Kings that was at a 101.1 compared to the Magic 108.5. That lets you know that the Kings were better defensively. They was a better team defense. Um, and also the Kings was part of one of the most controversial situations in NBA history for us in that game 6 of 4s. They was in a gambling situation to the point where that the referees through the games for the Sacramento Kings, it totally affected the series. It totally affected the outcomes of people legacies like a Chris Webber. Chris Webber probably would be looked at very, very differently if they didn't have that situation. And you could arguably say he probably been one of the top players at his position in that era if he just probably would have got that one chip. So we're seeing how effectively that it impacted these teams. For us, there their offensive systems, man. When you look at it, of course, the Kings were the press offense with Rick Adamant, and we know the Magic was like a post-central type of offense. Um, we understand that the Kings were probably one of the better offenses in that era for us in the 2000s. For us that they operated. That's why they was top five. I mean top 10 in both offense and defense as well. When you look at it, when you look at the fact they was going through the tough Western Conference as well. Um, the Kings, um, the Kings were one of the better teams in the NBA, not only in the NBA, but just going through the conference in the Western Conference
All
was way
right.
more challenging than the East.
Yeah, it's time. Okay. Time. Okay, so for round 2, I'll go ahead, Travis. Whenever you're ready, I'll go. I'll start your time when you start talking. You there, Travis? If you're talking, your mic is me. I don't know. Can anybody hear? Everybody hear me?
Look like he fell off somehow. So we waiting on Travis, y'all. Got some technical difficulties for the moment. That's what it look like. There he is. Look like he's about to come back.
Whoa, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Something happened. Like a bunch of thing just went out around here. I think here. Wow, that was crazy. Let me back in here for yeah. How long were you going on Herm after I got cut off? A few seconds. You can actually redo that round too, man, if you want, because that was crazy. Like you were cutting in and out. I think it was my connection. But yeah, if you want to redo that, man, because I didn't hear the last of it, and I don't think that's fair for you.
Do you want me to give him like an extra 30 seconds?
No, but did you hear everything, Ishmael?
Yeah, I heard everything.
Did you hear everything?
I even took some notes and stuff.
Okay, good, man.
I'm not. Am I the only one judging this?
King's Speech is supposed to be
King
here.
Roll probably come up.
Yeah, King's Speech. Yeah, if he can give you that, then he's fine. But yeah, anyway, I can go if you got his round in the books, then.
Whenever you're ready, just go ahead. Start.
Okay, so as we talked about in round 1, we went over how if you're talking about just star power, what defines greatness for you? What team, like if you look at it, you can say great. They had an great individual coalition of talent that obviously neither team won it all. The Magic went further. They had the bigger names. They had the better offense. They had the better, at least the better starting 5 roster. They had more the shinier names, basically the better stars. Teams added more points. When you talk about greatness and you talk about as far as they went farther and they had obviously the bigger names that we talked about, like Shaq, like Penny. That matters when we're talking in a debate like this, okay? And really, it wouldn't matter if the Kings won the finals, but again, they didn't go there. I will address the scandal part that Herm did at the end, but in this case, we will go on and just talk about their path. So the Magic, obviously, they beat Michael Jordan. Yes, he was back for only 17 games before the playoffs, but he was still averaging 31 in the series. He had more than enough time to shake off the rust. And no team in the entire 90s beat a Jordan-led Bulls team in a playoff series except for the 95 Magic, okay, which is crazy, okay? And let's see. They beat a 61 Pacers team as soon as they started winning championships, I should say that is. They didn't beat them. So also they beat a 61 Pacers team who were a legitimate contender. They had a prime Reggie Miller. They had a maybe one of the best coaches of all time in Larry Brown, veteran led. They were elite defensively. The Magic beat them in a 7-game war. Still one of the best series ever. Okay. And then the Kings never defeated really a team of that caliber in 2002. Obviously, yes, they took the Lakers to 7 games. Okay. They reached the NBA Finals, level Sacramento never achieved. Okay. We talked about why. Their finals loss was far closer than the sweep. Okay. Magic led late. Nick Anderson missed some free throws. There's a reason why they got swept. It wasn't just because they got outclassed at every turn. He went to overtime. Game 4 was a 1-possession late game. The Magic faced better competition, had a harder path. They did it again against they lost against the reigning finals MVP and one of the best players of all time in Hakeem Olajuwon. Okay. Now the Kings playoff run is remembered for controversy. The Magic playoffs run is remembered for conquering legends. One team almost made history, the other actually did. And then we'll go ahead and just close it out in round 3 with the defining. I will talk about the actual controversy and how really that doesn't matter when you're actually defending or pinning these two teams against each other.
So you wanted to stop your round? You had 12 seconds left.
It's not around, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Okay, that was pretty good. That was cool. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. Herm, whenever you're ready, just start talking and I'll start timing you.
I mean, for one, when we look at the Kings, and the Magic as opponent strength throughout their playoff runs, the Sacramento Kings clears. The average wins that they faced per team was 53 wins compared to the Orlando Magic 45 wins. The Magic had, for crying out loud, faced a 37-win Boston Celtics team in the first round here in the playoffs. And when you look at the Hall of Famers face, the Kings face six Hall of Famers compared to the Orlando Magic 4. The best team for us win-wise they face, the Orlando Magic faced a 47-win Houston Rockets team in the NBA Finals, which they got dominated by a loss to because they choked, for crying out loud. Compared to the Kings best team they faced were the Lakers, a 58-win team, and we know how that controversial situation happened. So when you understand the Kings had a tougher path, they came through a tougher conference. Hell, they beat Malone and Stockton in the first round. Then they came and gentlemen swept the Dallas Mavericks, and we knew what the Dallas Mavericks were on that year, one of the best offensive teams with a Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki, with Don Nelson coaching. And with Michael Finley as well. So that was a great situation. Then they went against the toughest duo that they actually was playing great against. And we understand what happens. And Travis said that it doesn't matter. He wanted to lose. Why it doesn't matter in the third round about the gambling scandal. How it don't matter. We got the Federals. The FBI was involved in the gambling scandal. It was Tim Donaghy was reffing in that series, a guy that openly admitted that had the NBA wanted them to make certain calls for Kobe Bryant, how he openly admitted how he totally affected that series as well, give the Lakers extra call. That's why you look at the free throws, differentials between the Lakers and the Kings. You understand why with that as well, for us guys like Kobe Bryant constantly getting to the line and getting favorable calls because he was given orders to, or due to the fact of his gambling situation. That stuff matters. We see how gambling is tearing down the league now. So why the hell we going to ignore the fact that gambling took place in that series, that the FBI actually indicted a damn referee over that series, and how that Game 6, the controversial call in Game 6, we going to sit there and act like that didn't matter and that can't deter a team from throwing the series or losing the series because they was taken advantage of in a pivotal Game 6. To the point where that they actually was dominant in that game.
All right, time. All right, Herm. That was a good second round. Travis, I'll start your time as soon as you start talking, okay, for the third and final round.
Okay. So just in summation here for this round, the 95 Magic were a decade ahead of their time. They were pioneering the inside-out game, pace and space offense, and we saw that all throughout their series and really all throughout the 90s is how they were playing when Penny was healthy, when Shaq was there, when they had those excellent three-point shooters like, and again, I was saying Dennis Scott, all these other guys, it's like they were really, again, you see a lot more of their play in the early 2000s, 2010s, really took a lot of their cues from them. Obviously, Shaq had a lot to do with that. You saw the Lakers were a lot like the 95 Magic there, the three-peat Lakers, where they played good defense. Again, they were very concentric. Obviously, you didn't see the triangle, but they were very much inside out as well. Okay. Now, obviously, we talked about the names. They were the number one offense in the NBA. Again, they influenced the former champions, right? Shaq came from there. Again, you had modern big man bases. Also, when we talk about the controversy, yes, that was no one's saying that didn't exist, right? And that it had certainly had a huge impact on the series, especially Game 6. But when it came down to it, the Kings, and again, I'm not trying to excuse it, but the Kings obviously had home court advantage. They had a Game 7 at home, and also they shot 20 more free throws than the Lakers as a team that series. And was Game 6 ridiculous? Yes, but the refs didn't tell the Kings to shoot 53% from the free throw line in Game 7 to Lakers 81%. They didn't tell the Kings to go 2 for 20 from 3 at home. Okay, the Kings couldn't hit the rods out of a barn in that deciding Game 7. That was the difference. Should it have even been a Game 7? That's a completely different debate, and I might agree with you there. But the fact is, they choked. The Orlando Magic didn't. They got to the big dance. They were just outclassed. Every game was tight, just about. And again, they were facing also the defending champions. So they were on equal footing technically when they lost. The Kings just did that a lot earlier. If you want to debate whether or not the 95 Rockets are better than the 02 Lakers, that's a completely separate debate there and be a fun one. But like I said, the bottom line is the Magic went further. They had better star power, objectively speaking. Were they as deep? Debatable. Okay. But they were a better three-point shooter team. They were a better shooting team all around. Again, they had the league's best offense that year. And like you see, if it hadn't been for a monumental choke job by the Kings in that Game 7, then this isn't a conversation we're having. The Kings probably maybe have been all time because I think they go on to smoke the Nets without any question in the NBA Finals. But that being said, I think we can agree that the 95 Magic, just in terms of star power, how they win the playoffs, just the numbers they put up, and the overall results of that season, especially compared to the Kings, so Magic aside, they were the greater team. It'll yield.
Time. Okay. All right. So, Herm, I will time you as soon as you start talking for your third and final round.
All right. Well, let's not act like that the Sacramento Kings have a star of their own. Chris Webber, a guy that was a 24-10 guy that particular year as well. So let's not act like they didn't have a star because they did. I understand that they have a significant duo, but it's not always about star power because we obviously know, hell, we seen one of the best duos of all time got gentlemen swept by the 04 Pistons, the same Shaq and Kobe that ultimately was dominating the NBA and dominating teams like the Kings as well. So let's not act like the star power always determines who's the better team. Sometimes it's all about continuity, which the Kings had better continuity. That's why you seen them as a top 6 defensive team in the NBA. That's why they were a better defensive team overall than the Magic because they had better team chemistry. They did have the best individual defenders outside of Doug Christie, but they had the team continuity. They had guys like Vlade and Sewell, which they was great in moving and rotating. They had guys like Doug Christie could guard and when Mike Bibby, hell, he knew his assignments. He just was a good communicator and just wasn't a liability. So everybody that had out there on the floor was not a liability on the floor. Then when you look at the 3-point shooting, hell, you had Hedo Turkoglu and Peja Stojakovic. The Magic, outside of Dennis Scott, the Magic don't have a 3-point shooter on the level of Peja and Hedo Turkoglu. So when it comes to shooting the ball, when it comes to having a high prolific offense, I think overall, because of the era itself, the Kings had a better offense. It's just that in their own era, you got teams like you got a team like the Dallas Mavericks that like a guy like Don Nelson invented how great offenses can be. So it's not like that the Magic was dealing with a lot of high-powered offenses in the 90s. And when you look at choke jobs, hell, the Orlando Magic got their ass whooping the NBA finally got swept because they choked in game one. Nick Anderson couldn't buy any free throws, to which you alluded to with the Kings in the game seven. But at least in that situation, they wasn't demoralized by cheating ass ref Tim Dunning. Hell, you probably would choke in the game seven when you know that you was totally robbed and totally affected by the goddamn league when you was up and should have won game six. So that can demoralize a team mentally. Hell, if the league taking it away from you, what make you think it would not have been a difference in the game seven? So that does matter. That is highly more effective. But when we look at the choke jobs, I think the Orlando Magic game one choke job was worse than anything that the Kings did in game seven because they was up by more than 20 points. They was dominating the Houston Rockets hell. It looked like the Orlando Magic was going to run through that 47-win Houston Rocket team. But guess what? Mentally, they broke down. The Rockets walked their ass
Okay.
down. And after that, they swept their ass.
I'd just like to correct something really fast. Herm said that the team with the most star power never or doesn't always. That's incorrect. The team with the league MVP has won every NBA Finals for the last 75 years.
This is a really good debate, and I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of tough to decide who wins this. Maybe you should have Ro come up here first if he would like to have his input.
Yeah, where you got Ro?
You can't use that because the Pistons didn't have a damn regular season MVP that won the NBA championship.
1,000% BSing. So
yeah. They gotta make sure because somebody else may take you serious.
I mean, that'd be weird if that actually was the case, but there's no way.
Give me like 5 minutes because I'm jogging some notes down, and then I'll give you my
yeah, sure. Is Ro? If Ro's here, well, before we wait for Ro to come up. How do you think you did, and what do you think, if anything, you left on the table?
I think it was a very great debate. I think I did the best that someone could do with the Kings. I probably left a little meat on the bone, but I felt I did. I felt I did a pretty damn good job because I think most people would automatically tend to go with the 95-96 Magic. That's why I chose the 01-02 Kings to try to make a good case because I think they one of the better teams that get swept on and get overlooked. But I felt I did pretty damn good though in that debate.
I agree completely. You did a great job. A lot of the time I spent prepping was for I knew that you were going to, and understandably, bring up the controversy, obviously, throughout that series. And it's a completely fair point. And like I said, that's actually one of my favorite teams. And I think they would have been a champion that year if they A, hadn't run into the Lakers, and B, obviously, with the scandal. But, I mean, fantastic team. I think with the Magic, I think that I played to their strengths. I think maybe we should have broken down the totality of their roster a little bit more. But I was really just trying to focus on, how many boxes they check next to the Kings and try to convince the judge of that. But we'll see what they say. But Ro, do you want to go first and let us know what you think?
Yeah, that's fine. So as the kind of the mind child behind this little series, Travis, you just kind of told him the stuff. I'm gonna give it 2-1 to Herm, and I think Herm made a better debate. And here's the thing: the last round he did it. I think I gave you the first round. I think you set it up a little bit better, just a little bit better. But Herm with the rebuttals, and Herm basically bringing it, like you said, setting up that roster. That to hear Hedo Turkoglu, to hear Doug Christie's name again, and reminding people Doug Christie was an All-NBA defensive guard. So again, like, if you want to tell me that the Magic had a great defense, well, we know Shaq and Penny was on the team, but who are they sticking on Michael? Who are they sticking on Michael to make Michael have an off series? You understand what I'm saying? And I got that from I got what made the essence of the Kings, like the totality of the roster. Would have liked to heard Mike Bibby because Mike Bibby was a hell of a point guard as well. Yeah, so I gave it 2-1 Herm. I think he laid it out better. I think, again, especially when he brought up a 61 team losing to a 6 seed is a choke as well. Because you said they choked in Game 7. Well, Herm had a nice rebuttal by telling you that the 61-win Magic getting swept by a 6 seed in the finals, that's pretty much a choke as well. So I'm glad he got into that, and that pretty much is the knockout blow in my opinion. All right, Ish, you got it now?
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna be honest. I had to use ChatGPT or AI to help me because I typed a bunch of notes from both of you, and it kind of confirmed what I believed in. But this was really tough for me, and so I have to give Travis the win 2-1. Herm came in. It kind of confirmed it. I'm gonna tell you why. Herm won round 1. He definitely round 1 because I think you kind of did rely too much on the star power. It is valid, but Herm, when he talked about the offensive systems, and he also mentioned the pace. He talked about what was it? You talked a lot of things, bro. You talked about that they were a 60-win team, and the fact that that's what I say. I give it to you on that. I mean, I remember Travis. You talked about the championship experience with Horace Grant, but I just don't think that was really enough. But what killed it is when Travis started talking about something that the Magic's done that nobody was able to do in the 90s, and that was beat Michael Jordan in the 90s Bulls in a playoff series, even though Michael Jordan came late. I think that really helped. And Magic you made arguments about the better competition, even though that the Kings face more Hall of Famers. I think that you sealed it when you talked about that, beating the 90s Bulls and the 61 Pacers and whatnot. But here's the thing, why round 3 was really hard. But the reason why round 3 was hard was because Travis ended up to me undermining the whole scandal thing. He said, at the end of the day, it's up to the other team, basically the opposing team, to control the outcome of the game. And they did that horribly by shooting 53% free throws, and they even got 20 more free throw advantage than the Lakers did in the entire series. And you can, at that point, it's like, can you really blame that on the refs and the NBA? Like, and we already understand the scandal, but I think he just made a better argument in that sense. And that's what kind of like strengthened it. And then, but it was hard because Herm did make the argument about the fact that the Kings were a better overall balanced team and the balanced roster. And it's not about star power. And he did make the good argument about the Kobe and Shaq situation. But I think that Travis made more arguments that strengthened why the Magics were a greater team. So I give it 2-1, a slight edge in Travis' favor.
Well, Ish, that's why you're the man, and I love you. But unfortunately, Casual, who also heard the entire debate, did go ahead and give it to Herm. So Herm, I think that I won our last one, but I think obviously you objectively won this one. So congrats, buddy.
Congratulations to Herm.
Appreciate it, man.
Congratulations. This was really tough. I
thought it was a great debate. That's why I like these debates, because it's like a very specific thing, right? Like two teams that didn't win a title, and you can't use the ring merit right on them. That's like the whole thing. That's like what makes it difficult. So
yeah, that was tough. That was some. I had to use AI because I was like, what?
I don't know how to do mine myself.
So I just remember that I always want to give to the debaters some respect by taking the notes from what I can catch, and so to be able to understand both sides of perspective. But like I said, that was really good.
That one? No. Okay, so everything this one, the first one.
Ro hates the fuck out of me though. So
oh man, Trav, you gotta understand, Ro goes in me all the time. So
He
shit.
does. He really does.
Yeah, he does.
And Trump-
He's more of a kid.
I think Roe was being pretty fair, though, for the most part. He does that.
It's always good. I think everyone thinks back and forth, and people are good at giving their reasons, right? So that's why it's a good thing. He's echoing.
Yeah, I don't know who's doing that.
Yeah.
the person who like after that last debate with the King Shah, I'm a little mad. I'm mad at both of these cats. So I put it this way. This ain't no personal thing. I actually wanted both of these guys to lose. You know, the way I got hosed against King Shah, bro. Boy,
Hilarious.
I just watched the first round. That dude lied 4 times, and you gave him the debate. But it's all good. No, and I see me and Ish. We saw the debate completely differently, right? We saw it completely differently. Like he gave Herm the first round. I gave Travis the first round. He gave Travis the last 2. So that's what happens when it comes to perspectives, right? You realize 2 judges can see 2 totally different things. You know what I mean?
Also, I wanted to, and this is for everyone. We thank our people for showing up here, Casual, Rap God, and we're going to try to get that expanded. But thank you guys for showing up here. And Ishmael, I guess you're probably going to be too busy for this, but if you guys want to stick around for a second after the live stream ends, I have a quick thing I wanted to run by you guys. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go ahead, guys. Right now, we're going to call it fantastic debate, guys. What'd you see? Post this up, spread it around, and we're going to have more fantastic debates. I'm going to do my best to make sure we have a couple bangers next week. A little bit shorthanded there because Dart's gone, but we'll do our best to get them. But again, thank you for choosing for getting here at Lights Out, guys, and we'll see you guys later. Okay, and then okay,
Salute.
yeah.